Hello and welcome to lesson 1 in the lower intermediate series of lessons for tenor viol. We're starting today with chapter 4 in book 2, and that's on page 32, and chordal fingering. Now, what is chordal fingering? Chordal fingering is where we have two fingers on the same fret, and the idea about this is that it enables you to hold the resonance, hold the fingers down to keep the resonance going. So if I were to do a 2 on C and then a 2 on F, you can hear how the C has sort of died. If I put a C here and a 3 on top, you can hear that the C is still ringing. And this is a very basic concept of viol playing, and one that so suits the viol because it's such a resonant instrument. And chordal fingering is sometimes called lute fingering, and we do it with 2-3, and we do it with 3-4. Which means now that 2 to 2, jumping here, is 99% band, and 3 to 3 is also 99% band. Sometimes you might need to do the odd 2 to 2 if you run out of fingers. And also chordal fingering, we can do 1-2 or 2-3, 3-4. You can bar with 1. And you can bar with 4, but we don't bar with 2 and we don't bar with 3. That is now gone. So if you think of a piece that you already know, like there's the Brawl, the Gervais Brawl in book 1 on page 46, which is the one that goes like this. So if you think about that in the context of chordal fingering now, we could do it like this and do a 3 there, which enables us to keep the C down all the time. So let's look at hand shape and chordal fingering. If I've got my hand up here, which I'm hoping you will have so that we can stuff our bow up there and making sure that there's a nice tunnel for it to go, then if I move my third finger round here to play on the same fret, I have to get it right round before the fret. If I move it round there, then that's not too much of a difference in hand shape, is it? If I don't have that nice tunnel in my hand, then going from here to do chordal fingering is a huge jump, isn't it? So keeping a good hand position is really good. Good idea. Okay, let's look at these exercises then on page 32. Number 1, so we're going 2-3, 2-3 on C and F. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. So we have to change hand shape slightly, don't we, for the coming back to the B. 2, let's try this. So it's coming from an open beforehand and then a B. Here we go. 3, 4. So you finish like that. So try not to look. As Mrs. Nagbar says, take your hand off each time and put your hand back on again, which is what we were working on in the last series of lessons. Putting a hand on without looking. Here we go. Number 2, 3, 4. So that's chordal fingering in first position with 2 and 3 on the A and D strings. Now if we look at number 3, we're in first position on the D and the G strings. And so we're covering F and B flat here. So now let's have a look at this one before we start it actually, because we're here in chordal fingering, and then in the second bar there's a 4, isn't there? So you have to move your hand shape round and not play an open A string like I just did, but move your hand shape from here back round to 4. Okay, let's try this. Number 3 then. Here we go. 3, 4. Turn round. Let's do that again. Should we do it with our eyes closed this time? So we can feel what it's like, and definitely no looking if you've got your eyes closed. Here we go. 3, 4. And pivot round now on 2 to find 4. How do you get on? Should we do it again? Here we go. Eyes closed. 3, 4. Weight in 2. It's an interesting thing about finger weight, isn't it? Because although your fingers look like they're all down together, they're not applying the same amount of weight for each finger. It depends which one you're on, really, doesn't it? So I can feel there's more weight there because I've only got those 2 down, but as I come around here, it looks like I've got equal weight in my fingers, but I've got more weight in my 4th finger. And if you can think about distributing weight in your fingers, it stops the hand from clamping on and getting very rigid. And of course, if the fingers are rigid, then the thumb is more likely to be rigid. But what we want is a flexible, supple hand that's relaxed and strong. So we want the thumb bent outwards and the fingers coming down from above, from the hand. So we feel like we're nice and relaxed, but we've still got the strength that we need to make the sound. And of course, the reason that we're doing this pizzicato is to get a good contact with the fret, because even if you're a genius with a bow, it doesn't matter. If your fingers aren't in the right place on the frets, you won't make a good sound with the bow. So it's really worth investing the time to do pizzicato and get this right. Let's do number 4 now. Now number 4 is quite tricky because we have to find a 3rd finger first, because we're coming above and going down in the intervals here from nowhere, from the open string. So so we're going from D, aren't we? D and G. Finding that 3. So let's try number 4. Okay, here we go. So open, open on D and G. 3, 4. Let's do that one again. Here we go. And 3, 4. 3, 2. And you know what's coming now, don't you? Eyes closed. 3, 4. And can you feel how your hand has to really go up quite a bit, doesn't it, to find that B flat there? So if we look at Tallis's Canon now, the idea with this is that you spot the chordal fingering, so it should feel wrong to do a 2-2 now. 2-2 is banned. So let's do this pizzicato and let's see if you get the chordal fingering. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Did you get it at the end of bar 2, going to bar 3? Because that was it, wasn't it? So in this book, I've written down some indication of where you keep your fingers down, but not everywhere, because what I want to start happening here is for it to feel wrong if your fingers come off. So here, I mean, 2 bars from the end, on the 3rd and 4th beat, there's a C and an E, isn't there? And it'd be really nice if that C stayed down, so the resonance keeps going, and you're coming back to it. Let's try this with the bow. So, 1, 2, 3. funny, isn't it? You start doing something else and you think, oh. So what we're going to try and do in these lessons is learn something with a bow and then learn something with the left hand, put them together so the technique develops together. Let's turn the page. I'd like to look at the Broder Royen on page 34. And chordal fingering in the second bar and preparation for the chordal fingering. Let me show you what I mean. So if I pluck this from the beginning, here we go. So did you see how I slightly turned my hand back on that minim? In preparation, I didn't do as a quick movement. So I'm on the note before I need chordal fingering, so I might as well prepare my hand. And that's not a bad thing to be doing. Okay, so let's play this from the beginning. And we'll start it with a bow. Okay, so bow on the string. Here we go. 3, 4. So you can see I've marked the chordal fingering with a bracket, and I've done this so that it sort of looks like a fret really. So you can see that those notes are on the same fret. Okay, so let's put the bow on the string now. And when you put the bow on the string, because it's such a long way away, isn't it, on the tip of the bow, what I'd quite like you to do is just breathe in, and as you breathe out, just sink down, just to make sure that this isn't happening. I don't want you to be on the top string and play with your elbow stuck out. I want you to feel the weight of your arm and play with your elbow down. Okay, here we go. So this is the top string then. First 2 lines, here we go. Out, well, let's put some dynamics in. Here we go. Ready? 3, 4. Something new with this hand doesn't mean to say that this hand can go sort of not checked in a way, and you know, make sure that you're putting the right amount of detail into the right hand as you are on the left hand. Okay, let's do bar 9 pizzicato now. And I just want to have a look at this barre that comes up here, and changing the hand position from up here to there, to enable me to get a flat first finger and get both of those notes ringing, and then put 2, 3 and 4 on. And I've marked 2, 3 and 4 on in bar 9, so I get 2, 3 and 4 down. It's not 2, 3 and 4 down and 2 and 3 picking up, just peeking up like that. So try and feel that you've got more finger weight in the 4th finger. 2 and 3 are sort of on the string but quite passive. And when I play the barre, my hand's changing shape and moving around and coming up again. Okay, let's do bar 9 together. And I just want to say, when you get to 11, when you put the barre down, almost like hold your 4th finger down and let the 1st finger transfer the weight from the 4th finger to the 1st finger. And in transferring the weight in your hand, it means that it's not sort of clamped on, and it's so easy for that to happen when you're just clamping on with your fingers and clamping with your thumb, and you end up getting a really achy hand. So try and place your fingers and distribute the weight in your fingers, and try and have your thumb bent outward so your hand is strong and supple, but not really clamped. Okay, let's do bar 9. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Okay, now with the bow. And just before we start with the bow, let's have a look at these two consecutive back bows in bar 14. So we're going on a back bow on a string cross, so let's just play those two back bows. 3, 4, 1. So we're coming round and then forward. And let's do bar 11 together. Sorry, bar 14 together. And 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. Now we've done preparation for 16, because we've got more than one string to cross this time, haven't we? We've got 3 strings here. So let's just practice the octave leaps there. Okay, here we go. Just the 2 Gs. 3, 4, 1. And again, 3, 4, 1. And see if you can get your arm forward and back on the string cross. It's not forward and up, it's forward and back. And that will help you to find the bow direction of each string. We talked a lot about this in the elementary series, getting the arm forward and back, didn't we? And this is where it's going to really pay off. So let's do bar 14 from the beginning. And 3, 4. And again, and I'll give you a bit more time to get ready this time. Here we go. And 3, 4. Okay, now with your eyes closed. 3, 4. And where is that top string? Where is that G? It's interesting, isn't it? You stop, you do it with your eyes closed, and where does it go? Let's do it again. Here we go. And 3, 4. So try that with your eyes closed and see if you can just feel that string. Do a bit of separate practice. Okay, so bar 9 with the bow. And 3, 4. About in that, isn't there? And it would be really nice to get it quicker as well. Sort of that sort of speed. And of course, when you're learning this, don't do it quick. Do it slow. Play it slowly and build up your speed. When you're happy with what you're doing here on the left hand, when you're happy with your string crossing in the right hand, when you're happy with your coordination with both hands, maybe you could play some extracts of that with your eyes closed to just feel how your technique is developing and then get it quicker. Okay, I want to show you the shepherd's dance now. So we talked about chordal fingering at the beginning of this lesson with the brawl and how you can hold your fingers down. But here, it's possible to hold your fingers down an awful lot longer once you put them down, once you put your F down in the quaver in the first bar. And I'm just going to play this on the right string now. Here we go. I just want to show you first of all. So I'm starting on an F. 2, 3. So I just wanted to show you that phrase, that once my second went down in the first bar, I did not take it off until bar 7. So there's a context for chordal fingering, isn't there? So sometimes you have it just on 2 notes and that's all there is. Sometimes if you look at a phrase, you can think, well, actually, why would I need to move that finger? because I can keep it there, and actually that starts to make you feel very secure in your left hand because you know where a note is because it's down and you're coming back to it. So let's just do the first 3 lines of this for a chordal fingering exercise. And as I said before, if your fingers aren't on the frets, even if you're a genius with a bow, it's not going to be a great sound. So let's just check that this contact is good here. So pizzicato, first 3 lines only. And ready? 1, 2, 3. Now let's try it with a bow. So, bow on the string, breathe in, breathe out, and as you breathe out, sink down and feel your right arm relaxing. Okay, here we go, and 1, 2, 3. Now let's do that quicker and see if you can get that feeling in your fingers of keeping that second finger down. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. What happened to your bow in that? It's very easy, isn't it, for you put your bow on the string and then you sit and play and it gets quicker and suddenly this starts happening and you think, no, I need this to be close to the bridge, especially if I'm on the top string, and in the same place on the string all the time. And if your bow is wandering around up and down, then maybe it's time not to do things quite so fast, but just go a little bit slower. And just see if you can keep half an eye on your bow down here. It's almost like you have a third eye up here looking down at your bow and where it is. Whilst all your chordal fingering is now going on autopilot because you practice it with your eyes closed. Let's turn the page. I want to show you another example now of chordal fingering and how it's useful over non-adjacent strings. And this comes up in a few pieces in this chapter. But I think the hardest piece in this chapter is number 19, Mrs. Robertson's Fancy, where we've got chordal fingering over 3 strings in bar 9. So we're coming from a B flat with a 3rd finger down to a C with a 2. So you can see the hand shape is quite a change, isn't it? Coming from here to here. But my 3rd finger, in effect, because we've got these lovely frets, is showing my 2nd finger where to go, which is very useful. So ever so good to hold that 3rd finger down, measure, it's almost like measuring the distance between the top string and the 3rd string down, and then putting your finger on in the right place. So we know that's coming now, so let's go from the beginning in this. There's all sorts of chordal fingering. I just need to mention bar 3. We've got a 4th finger and then a 2nd finger. And for this piece, I've put another 2 in, just so we can repeat the phrase with the same fingers. Okay, let's have a look at this and let's do a pizzicato. So, 1, 2. quite a bit in there, isn't there? So, once we've done the chordal fingering in bar 9, we're in that position, which, if you think about it, is quite a long way for that 4th finger. So we have to come out of chordal fingering at the end of bar 10, turn the hand round, and then 3rd and 4th finger down together, where the bottom C holds down, shows the 4th finger where to go, and then we've got a nice octave here and a secure octave because we've measured again from here to here across the string. So it's not particularly, oh that's done, I'm going to put that down there. It's measuring between this way, going across the frets, and then finding the next note and then putting the next fingers on. And the more you play the viol, the more this happens, with one finger holding down on one string and then the next finger going to the next note, because it's been a measured distance across the fret. Let's do with the bow. There's quite a few places in here where you need to hold fingers down, and I haven't marked it, and I haven't marked it on purpose because I want you to start feeling things and start hearing things. I think, oh, that's come off. I heard that finger come off. Why did that come off? Does it need to come off? So question some of the things that you might see in this. Like for example, in the first F, I haven't marked that that F stays down, but it's on a string cross. And it would be really nice if we could finger that for thirds. So the resonance of the thirds comes across. There's another one, I'll show you what I mean again. Okay, so this is the beginning, and we're going to do it with the bow. So put the bow on, sink down, feel your arm weight in your body. Here we go, and 1, 2. Okay, let's just do that line again. It's really important when you practice things just not to practice the whole thing all the way through, but to break it down in sections. Okay, here we go. So, bow on the string. 1, 2. And there's a perfect example at the end of bar 5. Second finger on the F. We're coming back to the F. It's still down. And I don't need to move it until I play the B flat. So that's a really good example of fingering things for thirds and holding that second finger down because you're coming back to it. Let's now go from bar 6. Here we go. Do, do, do. That's on a back bow. So bar 6 and 1, 2, 3. Right, let's just practice that phrase again. We've got a big jump, haven't we, coming down from that C. So let's just think about what's happening with the bow there. We've done this pizzicato, so we know what the left hand's doing. We're up here on the G string and we're coming back down and round on the A string. So let's just practice that. Those two notes, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And again, just feel what that's like in your arm. Feeling where that A string is. Okay, let's go back to bar 6 then. Here we go. So bow on the string, it's a back bow, so don't be too near the tip. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. then you can practice the third line again on its own until you get all 3 lines together. And then once you've got it together, then start speeding it up. Okay, so that's the end of lesson 1, and I'll see you at lesson 2.